First, I will be talking a little about who Roy Lichtenstein was, what he was known for, and a little on his background. Roy Lichtenstein was one of the first American pop artists that was best known for his boldly colored comic strips and advertisements. He was born on October 27, 1923, in New York City. His father was a successful real estate developer growing up on the west side of New York City. Even as a young child, he had always had his eyes on both science and comic books. He attended Franklin School for Boys in Manhattan and, when graduating, attended Ohio State University. His studies were then interrupted because he was then drafted to Europe to fight in World War II. When returning from the war, he returned to Ohio State to finish his art studies. His paintings had a rough start because many people believed that he was copying art and making it into comics wasn't really talent. In 1961, the mature pop artist style arrived, and he started by making more comic strips. This comic of the drowning girl was made in 1960 before the pop artist movement emerged. But then, even when this painting didn't get the attention it deserved, 2 years later it became a famous painting for those who understood it. This painting is of a drowning girl whose boyfriend is appeared in the background clinging to a capsized boat. This comic was published in DC Comics in 1962. Now for his most famous artwork. This painting, Wham, was an image from the All-American War, published in DC Comics in 1962. The All-American War of Men and Wham look very alike, but they are very different. In Wham, there are two planes, and one of the planes is being shot by the other plane. The first plane has a comic saying, "I press the fire control and ahead of me rockets blaze through the sky," describing what is going on in the painting. In this comic, there are three planes coming at this one plane, making it look like it is being attacked. The differences in the two paintings are the fact that Roy focused more on the two individual planes to make the painting look powerful, with the plane having all the power with shooting the other plane. This allowed him to make this painting impersonal, leaving the viewer to figure out the meaning for themselves. Even with these two paintings looking alike, they are very different in their own ways, and Roy made sure of it. Roy was known for deconstructing many different art comics. By deconstructing, I mean he would try to expose its hidden internal assumptions and contradictions within the piece. Some pop art he deconstructed was from David Barcelo comic art. Some examples of him deconstructing comics are Gurr, the painting of a dog. Another one would be All Right, that originated from David and another pop artist. During the time of the pop art movement, at the time many people believed that comics were bad for society. For Roy, he wanted these comics to be looked at as a parody rather than art. He wanted people to look at this art to be humorous, but this still stirred up problems with those minds that are not from the art world. Lichtenstein never really took his artwork serious because he wanted people to criticize and have their judgments on the art themselves. With many comics that he did, this comic has a lot to do with today, or just to see how Mickey Mouse started off. Look, Mickey was a painting painted in 1961, and this set a toll for his career. This was the startup for his career, setting a primary colored portrait of the mouse by detaching the introspect style. In this painting, you see it is very two-dimensional compared to all his other comics that are three-dimensional. Mickey here is laughing at Donald Duck for catching the fish, but he just caught himself. Even though Roy Lichtenstein had a very tough time with people understanding his comics, he was a very successful pop artist. Later on in his career, he stopped painting comic art and started painting modern art. Although the work stopped with comic art, many pop artists still look up to Roy's methods and how he did his art. Lichtenstein will always be looked up to by future pop artists because of how he reconstructed many of his pieces. I'm glad I did this project on Roy because he was an artist that had fun with his art and really looked at life in a different perspective.